Have you ever met someone who thrives on disrespect, who crosses the line not by accident, but as a sport? What if I told you that the most powerful way to respond is to say absolutely nothing? And what if that silence could demand more respect than 1,000 words ever could? Welcome to today's video, where we dive deep into 5 bold, Stoic tactics to command respect without raising your voice, without losing your cool, and without saying a single word. If you're tired of feeling bulldozed by people who treat your boundaries like suggestions, this one's for you. Let's begin. Asterisk 1. Embrace the silent stare. Let's kick this off with one of the most quietly powerful tools in your arsenal, the silent stare. Now, you might be thinking, really? Just staring? Yes. And not just any stare, a calm, unflinching, expressionless look that radiates stillness and certainty. When someone disrespects you, talks over you, mocks you, or tries to put you down, they're often baiting you. They want your reaction. They're hoping to see you flustered, embarrassed, angry. But instead, you give them nothing. No defense, no eye roll, no sarcasm, just presence, steady, calm, eyes locked. It's disarming, it's unsettling, and most importantly, it's effective. Let me paint you a picture. I once sat in a meeting where a colleague, loud, arrogant, always interrupting, kept cutting me off. At first, I tried to stay polite, to interject with grace, but he wasn't having it. He steamrolled right over me like my words were background noise. So I stopped trying. I leaned back in my chair, folded my arms, and just stared at him. 5 seconds. No blinking, no emotion. I let the silence stretch. And something fascinating happened. The entire room turned. Everyone looked at him. The air got thick. And that man, so sure of himself just moments before, started to stumble. His voice shook. He looked down. And he never interrupted me again. Sometimes silence speaks louder than outrage. Sometimes a still gaze says, "I won't be disrespected," without uttering a syllable. And here's the kicker. It doesn't just stop their behavior. It shifts the power dynamic. It reminds them, and you, that your worth isn't up for debate. You don't owe anyone your emotional energy. You don't need to prove your intelligence, your value, your right to exist in the room. All you have to do is hold the stare. Asterisk 2. Let silence be your answer. Now, let's talk about one of the most underrated superpowers you have: silence. When someone disrespects you, mocks your goals, belittles your efforts, or tries to bait you into conflict, your strongest move might be to say absolutely nothing. That's right. No clapback, no long explanation, just stillness. It's counterintuitive, right? We've been trained to defend ourselves, to argue, to correct the record. But here's the truth. Not every insult deserves your voice. Not every battle deserves your presence. Sometimes, silence is a boundary. It says, "I heard you, and you're not worth the breath it would take to respond." This kind of silence is not passive. It's potent. It's active. It takes strength to bite your tongue, especially when someone is digging at your pride. But in that space of stillness, something powerful happens. The disrespectful person is left alone, with their own words echoing in the air. No resistance, No deflection. Just the weight of their behavior hanging awkwardly between you. And it's often more than they can handle. Silence holds a mirror up to their actions. It makes them sit in the discomfort they tried to dump on you. And it does something else. 2. It protects your peace. You don't get dragged into unnecessary drama. You don't waste your energy on someone who hasn't earned your time. You stay in control, stoic, steady, grounded. So the next time someone tries to provoke you, ask yourself, do they deserve a reply? Or would silence say everything that needs to be said? Previously, we explored the power of silence, how saying nothing can sometimes speak louder than words. But now, let's deepen that idea, because silence isn't just a pause, it's a statement. Asterisk 2. Embrace silence as your answer. At first, choosing silence might feel weak, even submissive, like you're letting someone off the hook. But let's be clear, silence is not passive. It is a conscious decision. And in many cases, it's the boldest and most forceful answer you can give. Think about this. When someone throws negativity your way, what are they really doing? They're fishing for a reaction. They want you defensive. They want to see you flinch, to argue, to fold. But when you stay silent, when you let their words dangle in the air, unanswered and unsupported, that silence becomes deafening. People who constantly disrespect others are used to getting a rise. They're used to seeing their jabs land and cause damage. They expect confrontation, or at least some emotional reaction that feeds their sense of control. But your silence? It denies them the attention they crave. It tells them, you're not worth my energy. By not engaging, you're not surrendering. You're taking charge. You're keeping control of the moment. Showing that you're unaffected, unbothered, above it. I remember a situation where someone would constantly disguise insults as jokes. You know the type. Snide remarks wrapped in fake laughter. One day, he made a snarky comment about my work. It was petty and clearly designed to provoke me. But instead of biting, I looked him in the eye, raised an eyebrow, and said, absolutely nothing. The silence that followed? Heavy, awkward, powerful. He fumbled, looked away, mumbled, and that was the last time he tried to joke at my expense. That's the thing about silence. It strips disrespect of the power it feeds on. More than that, silence sends a deeper message. I choose me. I choose my peace over your opinion. That's not just strong, it's revolutionary. We often feel obligated to explain ourselves, to defend our choices, to prove our worth to people who've shown they don't value us in the first place. But silence? Silence is refusal. Refusal to play their game. Refusal to follow their rules. It's a quiet rebellion. And it's not just about gaining control over a conversation. It's about protecting your emotional space. Silence becomes a filter, letting in peace, keeping out noise. And the moment you stop reacting to every jab or passive-aggressive comment, something shifts. You reclaim your energy. No longer are you giving others free access to your inner world. You're no longer handing over your emotional bandwidth to people who haven't earned it. And I won't lie, this didn't come easy to me. I used to believe that silence meant weakness, that not defending myself would make me look small. But over time, I realized the opposite was true. Each time I chose silence over reaction, I felt lighter, more centered, more powerful. It was as if I took back a piece of myself that I had given away without realizing. So here's my challenge to you. The next time someone crosses a line, don't rush to explain. Don't scramble to defend. Just stop, breathe, look them in the eye, and say nothing. Let that silence do the heavy lifting. You'll be surprised how deeply it lands, and how free you feel. Asterisk 3. Stop explaining your choices. Let's move to something that hits close to home for a lot of us. The need to explain. How many times have you made a personal decision, one that felt right for you, only to be met with a chorus of, why? Why didn't you go to that party? Why'd you take that job? Why did you say no? There's this strange social expectation that we must justify every choice we make, as if everyone is entitled to an explanation for how we live our lives. But here's the honest truth. They're not. Your life is yours. Your decisions are yours. And you owe no one an explanation, especially not people who aren't rooting for you. Now, let's go a bit deeper. Why do people even feel entitled to your reasoning? Often, it's not curiosity, it's discomfort. Your choices challenge their worldview. Maybe you took a risk they're too afraid to take. Maybe you stepped outside a box they're still stuck in. Your courage can make them uncomfortable, and they're questioning? It's an attempt to pull you back into their comfort zone. But just because they're uneasy doesn't mean you're responsible for soothing them. You're not a spokesperson for your own life. You're not a customer service representative for your goals. I remember when I left a safe job to pursue something I was truly passionate about. As soon as people found out, you'd think I'd said I was going to live on the moon. Why would you leave a steady paycheck? Isn't that risky? What if it doesn't work out? At first, I tried answering, tried justifying, but it only made me feel more uncertain, like I was asking for permission. Eventually, I realized I didn't need to explain anything. Their doubt wasn't about me, it was about them. And once I stopped responding, the noise faded. That's the power of holding your line. Of saying, without saying, this is my life. I don't owe you a breakdown. Because when you stop explaining, you start living freely. And that freedom? That's what Stoic strength looks like in everyday life. You walk your path without apology. And that, in itself, commands respect. Stay tuned. More to come in the next part as we explore even deeper Stoic principles to guard your peace and elevate your presence. Last time, we talked about the freedom that comes when you stop explaining yourself. Now, let's take that energy further into how you protect your peace by choosing distance. And how your posture alone can command respect. Asterisk 4. Keep your distance. Let's be honest. Sometimes the most respectful thing you can do for yourself is to step back. It might feel cold. It might even seem harsh. But the truth is, not everyone has earned the right to be close to you. And if someone consistently disrespects you, one of the healthiest, strongest moves you can make is to create some space. Keeping your distance doesn't mean you hate them. It doesn't mean you're holding a grudge. It means you've recognized something crucial. You deserve to be surrounded by people who honor your boundaries. Think of your life like a concert. Not everyone gets front row seats. In fact, some people don't even deserve to be in the arena. When someone repeatedly ignores your time, mocks your choices, or drains your energy with negativity, you have every right to step away. And here's the magic of distance. It brings clarity. Without the emotional noise, without constant exposure to their behavior, you start seeing things for what they truly are, not what you've been hoping they'll become. I used to keep someone close who always found a way to undermine me. Little comments, passive-aggressive jokes, constant nitpicking about my job, my relationships, even the music I liked. At first, I thought I was being too sensitive. I made excuses for them. But eventually, I realized something had shifted in me. I was bracing for their words before they even opened their mouth. I was shrinking without realizing it. So I didn't confront them. I didn't make a dramatic exit. I just started seeing them less. Once a week became once a month. Once a month became once in a while. And you know what? I felt lighter, like a weight had lifted. That space gave me room to breathe, and room to see that I wasn't being treated with kindness. I deserved better, and so do you. Some people will say you're being selfish for keeping your distance. They'll say things like, but they're family, or, you've known them forever. But here's the truth no one tells you. Protecting your peace is not selfish, it's necessary. You're not a sponge for other people's drama. You're not here to be their emotional punching bag or audience of one. Keeping your distance is an act of self-respect. It's you saying, my energy is not yours to abuse. It's a bold declaration that you come first, not in a cruel way, but in a way that honors your worth. It also gives you time to recenter, to spend energy on relationships that nourish you, not drain you. Because let's be real, the more you surround yourself with people who uplift you, the less space there is for those who tear you down, and the more time you spend with people who genuinely respect you, the more you'll start respecting yourself. I used to carry guilt whenever I stepped away from someone, even if they'd hurt me. But eventually I realized, it wasn't just about removing a negative force. It was about making space for peace, for growth, for joy. So here's a challenge for you. Think of someone in your life who consistently makes you feel small, unseen, or tense. Now ask yourself, do they deserve VIP access to your energy? If the answer is no, then maybe it's time to draw that line. ************ 5. Hold your head high. This next one may sound simple, but don't let that fool you. It's one of the most powerful, timeless moves you can make. Hold your head high. Disrespectful people feed on insecurity. They want you to flinch, to shrink, to second-guess yourself. They want their words to rattle you. But when you hold your posture, when you stand tall and meet their eyes with calm certainty, you flip the script. You're no longer reacting. You're radiating. You're saying, I know who I am. And you don't get to change that. Confidence, especially quiet confidence, is magnetic, and it rattles those who try to undermine others. Because here's the secret they don't want you to know. They only have power if you give it to them. When you remain composed, shoulders back, chin up, presence solid, they don't know what to do with that. It unsettles them. It dismantles their illusion of control. I remember a moment when someone tried to embarrass me in front of a group, making a passive-aggressive remark they thought would land like a joke. Everyone turned to look at me, expecting a laugh or maybe a flustered response. But I didn't laugh. I didn't shrink. I just looked at them, smiled lightly, and kept my head high. The room shifted. The energy moved. Their joke fell flat, and I walked away taller, literally and metaphorically. That's what posture does. It's not just about your body. It's about what you radiate. Self-worth, composure, inner strength. When people see that in you, they don't question your value. Because they can feel it. You don't need to convince anyone that you deserve respect. You show it. Just by how you carry yourself. So, next time someone tries to bring you down, don't stoop to meet them. Rise above. Lift your head. Walk with purpose. Because nothing says, "You can't shake me," like the posture of someone who truly knows their worth. With these 5 Stoic tools, the silent stare, embracing silence, not explaining yourself, keeping your distance, and holding your head high, you now have a quiet arsenal of strength. You don't need to yell to be heard. You don't need to argue to be right. You only need to be still, and sure, and grounded in who you are. Now go show the world what quiet power looks like. Previously, we explored how posture and distance aren't just physical acts, they're declarations of inner strength. Now let's bring it home with a mindset that ties it all together. Unwavering self-respect. You know the type. Always a smirk. Always a comment. Always that joke that cuts just a little too deep. There was someone in my life who, every time we crossed paths, couldn't resist slipping in a backhanded comment. It was subtle but sharp. A dig cloaked in sarcasm. A critique masked as, "Just kidding." At first, I tried brushing it off. I told myself not to take it personally. That maybe they didn't mean harm. But over time, those little jabs added up. I found myself dreading every interaction, mentally rehearsing how I'd defend myself next time. And then one day, something shifted. I was done feeling small. Done second-guessing my worth in someone else's shadow. So I showed up differently. Shoulders back, chin up, head high, and every time they tried one of their little stingers, I met their eyes, smiled, and kept moving, like their words never landed. And something strange happened. They started to back off. It's like they could feel the shift. That their words no longer had a target. That I wasn't playing that game anymore. I had lifted myself out of reach. Confidence, real confidence, is magnetic, and it's disarming. It makes you untouchable to those who rely on putting others down to feel tall. And here's the twist. People who don't respect you, they often hate seeing you confident. It throws them off. It challenges their sense of control. They want to believe they're above you, that they can shake you. But when you walk into a room like you own your space, they don't know where to stand anymore. Society has a hard time with people who are unapologetically grounded. People who don't need permission to hold their heads high. It confuses people, even threatens them. But here's the truth. Holding your head high isn't about arrogance. It's about self-respect. It's about acting like you know you belong, because you do. It's not about silencing others. It's about no longer giving their voices more weight than your own. It says, "I am valuable. I am enough. I don't need to prove that to anyone." And the more you live this, the more natural it becomes. At first, it might feel like you're faking it, like you're pretending to be brave. But with time, it becomes your default setting. You'll notice that people's little comments start bouncing off you. Not because they've stopped, but because you're no longer absorbing them. I used to be someone who shrunk in the face of criticism, shoulders slouched, eyes down, hoping to avoid confrontation. But the moment I chose to stand tall, to look people in the eye, something inside me changed. I didn't need anyone's validation. I just needed to stop giving away my power. Holding your head high is more than physical posture. It's emotional posture. It's the way you carry yourself in a world that sometimes wants to break you down. Walk into every room like you were meant to be there. Don't shrink to fit other people's comfort zones. And when someone throws shade, let it slide off like water on armor. They're not seeing the real you. They're projecting their own insecurities. So why carry their weight? Next time someone tries to belittle you, whether it's a subtle jab or a direct insult, don't take the bait. Don't defend. Don't react. Just pause. Take a breath. Lift your head. And walk forward. Look them in the eye if you must. Not with anger, but with presence. As if to say, I see what you're doing, but I'm above it. You'll feel a rush of clarity. A peace that comes from knowing their words don't define you. That you've taken control of how much access they have to your spirit. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. Respect starts with you. The more you value yourself, the less room there is for disrespect to stick. The more grounded you are, the less chaos can shake you. You don't have to engage every challenge. You don't have to win every argument. You just have to know who you are, and act like it. So stand tall. Own your space. Protect your energy. Life's too short to bend for people who refuse to see your worth. Let them wonder why their tactics no longer work. Let them feel the emptiness where your reaction used to be. Because the truth is, you don't need their approval to stand tall. You just need your own. And that's the heart of it. The real secret behind handling people who don't get it, and maybe never will. They'll question your boundaries, mock your confidence, try to pull you back into their orbit. But you get to choose. You set the tone. You decide what energy enters your world. The more you respect yourself, the more the world mirrors that back. You'll begin to draw in people who uplift you, who recognize your worth without making you prove it. That shift doesn't happen overnight. It happens choice by choice, boundary by boundary, silent moment by silent moment. So hold your head high. Embrace silence when it serves your peace. And never apologize for walking away from what doesn't. You're not here to play small. You're here to own your space and live your truth. Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, give it a like, share it with someone who needs it, and hit subscribe for more content on building quiet confidence and living unapologetically strong. And if you've got your own story, drop it in the comments. Let's remind each other. Respect starts from within. Until next time, stay strong. Stand tall. And remember, your self-respect is the standard the world learns to follow.